How you doing, Darey?
We do what we have to do. I'm all right.
Yeah,
Doing okay.
nice.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
I see you have the boom color going on, everything. Brand represent.
we did, we did try, we did try, we did try. So how's it been for you? How's it been for you since the COVID situation?
Been all right. Trying to cope. New normal, new reality for everybody. So we have to adapt. By force, by force.
Yeah,
No choice.
yeah,
Trying to keep safe. Continue doing business, even though it's different. From the way we're used to. So it is what it is.
yeah. Being in the entertainment business, you're not just a musician. You're in the business properly. I mean, you're a show promoter, do a lot of concerts. How has this? I mean, obviously, it has affected the concert industry, I guess, the show industry. But how do you guys? What do you think is the way forward? Do you think we can still have shows? Do you think we can still have events?
Yeah, I mean, shows and events will come. They will come back. I mean, people are already doing parties in their houses and in different locations. We just have to, get used to the whole protocol, the health protocol. Get used to living with this virus. Yes, it is what it is. Make sure people wash their hands often at the event. Wear your mask. Certain distance. After that, you can. It would only minimize maybe the number of people you can have in a venue. Based on crowding, the experience will probably change a little bit because of that. People can't really express themselves the way they want to because they have a mask on. But it will come back. That will be like the first phase, before things now really relax and be like, okay, you don't catch COVID, my guy, no shaking. This if I get and it'll be, it'll be a normal thing, when the immunity increases or there's a vaccine, that okay, all you need to get a shot. Yeah, you get to that point.
And you're good. Yeah. As a creative, right? Creatives never stop creating. You guys are always working on stuff. I'm sure that nobody was surprised when you announced the new single, Jah Guide Me. I'm sure almost nobody was surprised because you guys, maybe you take a break, but deep down we know you guys are always creating. So now, in the COVID situation where you couldn't go out, were you still working on stuff?
Yeah. Especially even now during the lockdown, like sessions are bound, man, day in, day out, recording new music, listening, checking for, mixes, whether it's in the right direction, whether this song is working. Yeah, all of that. Plus, every other thing that we normally would be working on anyway. And a lot of people have been clamoring like, when are you dropping new music? When are you doing this? Every other day, there's one new tweet or one new post that
like that
for years now, and I just see them and I'm like, if only these guys knew what we're going through in terms of, okay, I just recorded yesterday and I can't tell them.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for one song that I've just finished mastering, I can't tell them. So I just keep telling them, yeah, it's coming, and they just to keep them anticipating. But when we dropped, you just have to come correct. It's been a little while, so come correct, give them nice visuals, give them a nice record that nobody can say, you for try, do this, do that. Just give it to them properly, and then it's been like that so far.
How do you get to that point where you're not moved by the fans disturbing you and saying, we need new music now, we need new... How do you get to that point? It's not like you're not moved, but you're still able to say, I'll take my time and you're not pressured at all. How does that happen?
I mean, you're moved now. It's not like you're not moved.
Yeah.
You're moved, but you just have to I'm just trying to get some coffee. You just have to get used to hearing those kind of comments. You know, people don't. I mean, people always talk. You understand? So,
Yeah.
you know, it's one of those things. You take it is almost like with a pinch of salt. Yeah, they're speaking from their own passion points, right? But you also have your reality. You know, yes, I feel them. I also want to put out music, but I'm not going to put out music because you're in a hurry to hear music.
Yeah.
You understand? I put it out when it's right in terms of it has to go through its process. A&R has to, you know how many songs, tens of songs that I've recorded that people will never hear. You get, because A&R they're like, this one, okay, if we put these ones together like this, yeah, we can tell this is the story that this is telling, you know, it's making sense back to back like that. Then these ones, maybe they were greater for me as an artist. I mean, I preferred the ones they've dropped, you know, but yeah, those kind of things have to happen. And then eventually, you know, it's brought out and you still satisfy the fans whichever way, because they're not expecting one particular type of song from you. They just want to hear from you and, you know, give them something they can feel.
So when did you decide that you were going to drop a new project? When did that happen?
You know, we've been postponing, right? You know, it would have happened, I could have dropped something last year, maybe like November or like that. I could have dropped a single. In fact, I performed a new single that I have with Tenny. I performed it at Born in Africa Festival on stage for the first time. You know, she and I, first time ever, you know, that I have the recording of that one. So that was just like a brief teaser, you know, for people to say, okay, this guy has been doing something.
Yeah, it's still working.
You know, that I've been working and all. So every other moment over the years, we've come close to, okay, let's put this out. But one thing or the other keeps coming up and we change, the goalpost shifts and all that. But now is the time.
Yeah. The new single is out, Jah Guide Me. Congratulations on that.
What do you think? Thank you. What do you think? Have you heard it? Have you seen it?
I have. I've heard it, and I was going to get into it, like, so religious themes, right? Religious themes. You know, it seems to be in recent times a recurring theme in Darey's music. I mean, Pray For Me is like, it's way up there. It's like a classic. You understand? And now we have Jah Guide Me. Say what?
Not a gospel.
It's
Pray For Me is not a gospel.
It's not a gospel song. It's more like inspirational. Can I say inspirational? Yeah, but a lot of people took it as gospel anyway. A lot of people took it as gospel. So what inspired Jah Guide Me?
Many churches have performed that song.
Wow. So what inspired Jah Guide Me?
Jah Guide Me really is just that it's what everybody's going through, not just the pandemic, the economic repercussions, you know. Normally, on a good day, life is hard, you know, for the average Nigerian or the average African, you know, so to speak, in terms of poverty levels and all that. And we live with these people. Some of us even go through some of these things just because we don't come out to say anything.
Talk about,
you know, everybody's going through one thing or the other. When you come across or you go through these situationships, you know, so to speak, a lot of the times you don't have the solution. I'm sure you've been there many times where, man, bad as it bad, you know, things just look like they're knocking their heads, you know, together, and you just can't find a solution to it, you know. What do? You've tried everything. You understand? There's some things money can't fix.
Yeah.
Do you understand? There's some things that, okay, you have the money, it's not going to go away. Okay, some things it's money that fixes it, but there's no money inside. And you're not going to go say, oh, you want to turn into a life of crime, you know, or turn to a life of crime, or turn to, you know, one thing or the other. You're gonna start lamenting. You understand? Like, man, when this thing is really eating deep, it's hitting me hard, you know, and you're gonna look for answers. Most of the time, either as Nigerians or as Africans or even as just human beings, It's either you turn to God, whether you're a Christian or you're a Muslim. You understand? That one is like the first sure banker.
Yeah.
The next thing, if you don't believe in anything, you shall know that this thing don't pass my power. There must be something or someone out there that I can just lean or call on. You understand? That's what Jah Guide Me represents, you know. And knowing that everybody's going through just surviving, you know. It's never a straight road. There's always nooks and crannies that you have to navigate. So that's
interesting. So what's the EP called? What's the EP called?
Let's just say there's a body of work coming. Let's just say there's a body of work coming. I don't want to. Let me not
spill too much.
I don't want to spill too much because in case anything changes, you understand?
Oh my God!
like it's called this and that. But basically, right, the body of work, it has a theme. So even if I can't give you anything, you understand this? It's basic. If you look at a Nigerian in diaspora or an African in diaspora, or even someone who's from the West, right? You know that Africa is the center of the world. You know that Africa is the civilization. You know that back home, you know, you came from here and you've gone out there either through slave trade, either one way or the other. You are out there. You are an African, your upbringing and all that, but you know that something is pulling you back to come home. On your way back home, right? You know that you're going to see and hear and feel certain things that feel like deja vu, like you've been here before. You know how it is. Okay, you leave the office at Bumple and now you're going home. There's a familiar, there's a shop, a pharmacy, you know, one landmark or the other, something. The selling bowling on your whatever, you know, that gives you that semblance of home. You know, you be like, even if your eyes closed, you can find your way home. That's what this body of work represents. So the rhythm, the melodies, you know, the things that make Africa, Africa, either through our writing, our storytelling, one thing or the other, across the entire body of work, you know, reminds you of your journey back home. So that's what the general thing is,
Looking forward to it. It's been more than 10 years, more than a decade since you dropped your first album, right? It's been more than a decade. The music landscape has changed. What would you say is like the biggest change so far from back in the day when you started and now? What would you say is the biggest change?
I think that streaming, for example, as far back, I mean, we're talking only a few years ago when the last song did come out, you know, streaming wasn't as big or as reliable or as, you know, expansive right now, you know. I remember the early days of Boomplay as well, you know, and all the other platforms, you know. So that's a bit different. It's not like we're used to it. It's very immediate. You can see all the numbers, you know, you can log on to your back end and see, you know, all those things, how people are clicking when they're listening, all those things. So it's interesting, you know, it's a different dynamic that it gives, you know. You're able to see the analytics and know what type of audience you have, where they are, how old they are, you know, all those demographics. That's really, really interesting. What else has changed? I mean, there's a lot of young cats, you know, making music now, making a lot of noise, you know, in terms of promoting their music. They're everywhere, you know. I mean, there's no feeling of, no, there's nothing like that. Because once the music is well put together, once it's well made, well written, properly mixed, mastered, you know, sonically, it's got to be on point. I've made sure, you know, myself, the team, made sure that's on point. So there's really nothing to worry about in terms of competing, in quotes, with anything else out there. Be careful, you're going to write on the table. Be careful. Sorry, my daughter is drawing on a piece of paper.
It's fine.
You know, there's really competition. If you know what you're doing, you know, there's really no cause for alarm or anything to worry about. What else is different? What else is different? I mean, people are still shooting music videos. We've given them music video. What else is different right now is the pandemic.
Is the money different? Is the money different now? Is the money different?
I think time will tell. You know, I think that everybody's equity is different. You know, what it is that your brand is worth, you know, is totally different. I mean, I'm not comparing myself with anyone, but I know what I've been able to achieve over the years. So I have something unique that's going on for me, you know, and each person in terms of every artist or every celebrity also has the same. Also has the same. So that's for me. Those are some of the differences. You know, the pandemic as well makes it an interesting time. You know, releasing music in this time where you can't go on the.
We're doing a Zoom interview.
And funny, you know, in life, right, I would have either driven over to you, or you'd have driven over to me, or we meet in one neutral place, maybe traffic and all that. This is, you know, it's forced us to even be more productive. You are able to get many more in a day, and you know, churn out more productive stuff. So, you know, we have to look at the blessings also, you know, in all these.
Yeah, true. Do you miss performing at shows? Do you miss it? Do you miss that a lot? Performing?
Of course. Although I just recorded my live sessions for this audio work. That's nice. Yeah, do a live setup, you know, perform with the band, you know, recreate some of those moments from recording the song. So that's been the closest. I mean, there was no crowd or audience, you know, while I was doing it, but you know, that's the closest so far. But definitely, I'll miss being on stage.
Okay. What do you think? Because I put you as one of the top. When we talk about people who've made R&B music, right? I put you as one of the top guys, right?
Yeah.
Like over the years, it seemed like, or it felt like R&B kind of like took a backseat. You know, other things came up in your life. You got busy with other things. People like, let's say, Banky W got busy with other things. And it's like no one really filled that void. And, you know, I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. Like, what do you think about the present state of R&B music in Nigeria? Say what? I didn't catch that.
I think some people did. Some people at least attempted to fill that void. Okay. If you really look at it critically. If you follow from when I came out, and then there was Banky, there was Praise, there was along the line you had Johnny Drill, you had Ray Kasani, you had Simi.
There was at a certain point. There were people that
the early Yaya.
Before Kukere and the rest. Yeah.
At least there's been a few people of late. You'd say your Johnny Drill, you'd say your Ray Kasani, you'd say Simi, you'd say, you know, maybe Adekunle Chike, exactly. So there's a few people at least still trying to do one or two things on this album or this body of work or this EP, however, whatever is going to come out to be. I'm sure at least there'll be one or two things that will remind people and say, okay, that's on a 2.0 level, Sha, you understand? We can't be giving them the same thing. What's the new level going to be like? So yeah, there will be definitely that. But what I call my sound now, you know, is Afro and B. That's my name. Created this blend of all the Afro beat vibe plus R&B plus, you know, all that together into Afro and B.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Who would you say are like the new guys? That this is not just R&B, like any genre, right? Who are like the new guys that you really like what they're doing? What are the new guys?
what they're doing. Yeah, apart from AG is doing, I see he has remodeled himself, rebranded himself. Not bad. It takes a lot of guts, to try and switch it up on the fans, but he's doing it okay, doing well. Simi is also doing great. I see Fireboy, I see Joe Boy, more Fireboy at the moment because, of the amount of work he's putting out. Lamide is doing with him as well, I don't know him, I've never met him. I see this new cat that's on all the charts now. Omale. I see Omale. Port Harcourt in the building, not bad. Given that new fresh sound coming out from that zone. I see the Alter guys as well. I see Thames. I see, Odunsi, every now and then. I see what World is doing, giving them that, the weekend vibe, but it's all great. It's nice to see that variety. You understand? If anybody knows me and they've heard what I've said over the years, I've always been for variety. We can't all make the same type of music. Just as the fans cannot always listen to the same type of music. Morning, evening, afternoon, studying, you are with your better half or your loved one or your significant other. You can't lamba all the way, best leg work. It's not possible. So, and as Nigerians now, we're beginning to, love more of ourselves, more of our culture, our movies. Look at what we're doing in the box office, our fashion and all that. 10 years ago, it was not like this. 7 years ago, it wasn't like this. So it's getting better. Nigerians are, warming up to Nigerian. So it only makes sense to have, if not better, great options for them to have when you compare to, who's Nigeria's DMX or who's Nigeria's Jay-Z. Do you understand? We need to have, as comparing ourselves to them, but in terms of a version that's even more solid, that you can connect with, so that language barrier is not there anymore, that cultural barrier is not there, and you can see it. People are, all these guys that we've mentioned and we've talked about, they all have their following, they have their fans. So that's what we live for, is that variety.
True. Fantastic. Tell me something, right? What's the hardest thing about putting a show together? What's the hardest thing about putting a show together?
What's the hardest? You want one thing, you're never going to get one answer. It's just.
So what would you put? Let's say there's a list. What's the top at the top of the list?
Okay, I think the first thing is for me, would be, what are you trying to achieve with that show? You understand? Putting a show together depends on what you are trying to do. What type of show is it that you're trying to do? Is it an acoustic event? Is it a show that's, how many people, are you expecting to come to that show? What kind of experience do you want them to go home with? You understand? You now start working backwards. You start with the big picture. What is it that, how's the outline? How many people, what kind of vibe is it? Is it alter? Is it gymnastics you want to do in the air? What, you understand? Yeah. Create that first, then now go backwards. What kind of music? What are the performers? How many people? What kind of venue is it? Your lighting design, your rig, your stage design, your concept, your dancers, who's going to sell your tickets, how are you going to sell your tickets, there's so many, how are you going to fund the show or the event, who's going to pay for it, is it going to come from your pocket? If it's going to come from your pocket, check your bank account and see whether it's something you can afford. If your bank account is telling you that you can only do an event for 15 people, you understand, a small event, 15 people cozy, my brother, just do that event that way. You understand? So that you don't get into any trouble, don't do like that. After you have done the 15, if it's a success, we are increase it to 20, increase it to 25. But some people don't, they just want to do something huge and you want to make noise, you now get into trouble. Trouble in the sense that you can't even afford to do what you are trying to do. If you now start going to borrow money left, right, and center, you're going to get yourself in trouble, And then if it's something that people don't understand or something that your tickets won't move, you'd have spent so much money creating something that has no demand. So you also have to do a lot of, field tests and what is it that if you do it now, people will rush it because it's new, they've never seen it before or something like that? Or are you going to try and bring something from out there, an existing platform, and you say, okay, like a franchise, almost like saying you want to open KFC in Nigeria or McDonald's in Nigeria, carry a franchise and bring here. That one, okay, people have heard about it. You want to do the Nigerian version, you can go to sponsors, they will sponsor you based on, okay, they've done this before somewhere. So there's a million ways to answer that question, but if you are saying specifically something like Love Like a Movie or Live Sport X Festival, then we can go into plenty. Even now, the answer is long.
Are we going to get another Love Like a Movie event?
Well, there's no telling. We own it. We can decide next February now we want to do another one. It's up to us. We can decide, let's work on the next Live Sport X Festival. Who's it going to be? It's up to us. Again, right now, everything is up to the pandemic. Everybody is kind of chilling to see what's going on. Things are much safer. Then we can have that conversation.
What was the Cardi B experience like? What was that like for you?
Crazy. That was fun. It was something that I think we got it right. It was even beyond expectation. All the permutations, all the calculations. The thing just shot through the roof. Look at what it did for Nigeria's PR.
Yep.
From that. Look at how you'd not be able to see the connections, but look at what is done for our music or our sound overseas. You understand? Our legitimacy, our how should I say it now? The music has been doing great and making moves all along, but when it comes to what certain other Nigerians are doing to tarnish the country's image, this is one of them that at least counters that negative image. The fact that she was able to come here, give a great show, not just in Lagos, but also in Accra. Pan-Africanism, you understand? We shared the love, we spread the love to West Africa, even though Ghanaians, it's still love for them to it's still love. So it's part of the whole hype, you understand?
It's brotherhood. You banter with your brothers. It's brotherly banter.
Even your husband and wife, they have those kind of small. It's fine. And then it's Cardi B you're talking about. Cardi B carries. There's nowhere she goes to. There must be one kind of drama or something, and she's up to the task in terms of if you tassy her, she will tassy you. She don't send anybody. So it makes it really fun, where animosity is just vibes, and it was a great experience. Look at her. Apart from her performing and all that, look at her. Me taking her to Ebano, her picking up things for the kids in the orphanage by herself. Toothpaste, body wash, all those things. It's the kind of things that we do anyway. On a good day that with nobody. She didn't send anybody. She did all that. Then when we got to the orphanage, she told them, look, she does not want any cameras. We're there. We played football with the kids. We took pictures. She was asking all of them their names, really spending time and bonding and gisting with them. Those are many things that people will never get to see. You understand? And those are the things that, for me, is one of the most important parts, of bringing her over. You understand? Immersing her. Let her see real people. It's not just the glitz and glam, picture, paparazzi, perform on stage. No. Beyond that. So hopefully moving forward, people will be able to take a cue, from that and say, look, it's not just, we need to sell ourselves more. We need to tell our own story. It's not them that will come or from there. It's been happening too much. They tell us, oh, Nigeria is this, Nigeria is that. No, we will tell you what Nigeria is. We are Nigerians. We are the ones here. You understand? You can't come and be telling me what is
Nigeria.
not. Let me take you to my hood and show you how we run things. That's what we need to see more of. Nice.
Yeah. I want to wrap up with this, right? So, you're someone you're like an all-round entertainment guy. Maybe acting. Maybe acting is the only place you haven't like ventured into.
I've been there. I've done stage.
You've done
stage.
You've done stage plays. Wow, interesting.
I studied theater in school, so it's not something I'm
exactly.
But it's not like a feature film, like start. I've not done that, and for a good reason. It's not time yet.
Okay, I mean, so I feel like a lot of musicians today, maybe it's like they struggle with. I feel like everybody gets to a point where maybe your music is loud, you are the man of the moment, and then it begins to die down, and people don't know how to swerve or get to what's next. So you found yours with events and all that. What advice would you give to like the next generation on how to handle that?
Well, it's simple in as much as it can also be tough and difficult. Yeah, it depends on who you are. First you need to find yourself. If you stumbled into music by accident, then it might be a bit tough. If you're in music and you kind of know what you're doing, you're passionate about it. It's not just about making money. You have real passion, real talent about it. It will be smart for you to, when you are on top, to make, while you're making the money that you're making, to invest and diversify your portfolio. If you're able to invest and start up a small business, it doesn't matter what it is. It could just be as simple as buying and selling. If people who are around you, your friends or your colleagues and all that, know that, man, if Excel this guy is a dope rapper, he's got solid videos and all that, but if Excel is the plug, right, for the best sneakers, you understand, I've ever seen in my life, you understand, you build on that. It might be a hobby at first, but build on it, something that you feel you are good at and people can, relate you with, and connect you with, and make money off of that. Start from that. If the music comes down, you just, you'd have stock, you'd be able to promote your business, and expand, sell more sneakers, maybe open up your own line of sneakers. You understand? Just think of other things that can bring in, that can either increase your equity, your brand equity, or, your income, so that from there you can expand more, this and that. That's what you need to do, because you're making all that money. It's not for you to go and blow it, on, frivolous things. You understand? If you want, you can start a family. If you feel that's what your calling is, start a family, have children, marry someone you love, build, your home. That's also something that you can be proud of and say, okay, well, you know what? I was able to build a house, put my kids through school, and all that. And you're okay with that. It could be a business, it could be a set of different businesses. But really and truly use that stardom and that income that you're making, use it to better yourself. Not because, as you said, on the way coming down, what happens to you then.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Darey, for this. This was a fantastic conversation.
Have we started the interview? Because I thought we were just gisting before.